And we are back with another video. Today we are showcasing every unit in England's roster in Medieval 2 Total War. So let's get right into it, starting with the infantry. So our basic infantry is, peasants, just run-of-the-mill, unruly peasants. Here is the upgraded version with some padded armor. This is just a showcase, so I won't be talking about the stats. It's just, to see the units. This is the town militia, so just levied militia, round shields, the unarmored version. Then we have the bronze, upgraded one, light padding here as well. And then the silver one, as you can see, with some chainmail and no helmets, and the spears are a little nicer. Then we move on to the levy spearmen, which have these oblongated shields. This is the unarmored version. Then there is the bronze upgrade with the padding. The silver upgrading with the chainmail. And these guys have a gold upgrading as well. You can see the helmets, sturdier chainmail. You can see here the difference between the two. Then we move on to the spear militia, which is considered a different unit by the game, but in my opinion is exactly the same one. So I don't know why they repeated it. They have same stats too. So here's the regular one. Then here is with bronze upgrading, silver upgrading, and gold upgrading. This we have armored sergeants. The regular armored sergeants are identical to the silver upgrading of the previous two spear units. So they're just repeating over and over. And the golden upgrade and armor for the armored sergeants, it's the same as before, they all look alike. This is the bronze for the sergeants, which is the same of the gold for the levy spearmen, but they have better stats. Now we have Bill Militia, which is exclusive to England, which with this weird weapon, which is the Billhook. This is the regular version. This is the silver, this is the bronze upgrade. But I don't see much difference to it. There's some padding, some light padding instead of just the cloth. And this is the silver upgrade, and it's more noticeable. You have the chainmail, they have like a uniform, so that's what it is. Keep going, we have the billmen, which are similar to the bill militia we had before, just a little better, but they look the same. This is the regular one, and this is the bronze upgrades, and this is the silver upgrades. They look exactly identical. Then we have the heavy billmen, which are heavily armored, as you can see. This is the regular one, which is still pretty significantly armored, while this is the bronze one. As you can see, the legs are armored in this case, and they have a better uniform too. Then we have, since it wasn't enough, I guess, the heavy bill militia. So it's a little less effective because it's a militia, and they look pretty much the same. Very heavily plated armor, and this is the upgraded version. Now we move to some other different type of infantry. We have the dismounted English knights, which have these warhammers, two-handed warhammers, which are pretty cool. This is the regular version, but then we have the upgrade. They have different helmets, and so this is the bronze upgrade, and are more heavily armored, of course. Then we have the dismounted feudal knights, which is a staple of any European countries and factions in this game. Chainmail, sword and shield, very good and very effective. And this is the upgraded version, much more heavily armored with plate instead of chainmail. Very effective and reliable unit. Then we move on to the armored swordsmen. They have this knight's helmets and plate armor as well, sword and shield, and this is their upgraded version. I don't see much difference here, to be honest. Maybe you do. Tell me in the comments. Maybe they have chainmail like around their neck, while here they don't anymore. It's just full plate. And then we can move on to another very important part of the English army, which is the ranged units, the missile units. So here we have the peasant archers with no upgrades, and this is the peasant archers with padding, bronze upgrade, and they have steel helmets. And finally, peasant archers with silver upgrades. They have chainmail and a better uniform. They look pretty decent. Same thing for the archer militia. They look kind of pretty much the same. They're a little better. These are with no upgrades. The usual bronze updates, the padding. And again, they look a little different here. This is the silver upgrades. And they seem armored. They have helmets, shin protections. They look pretty nice. Moving on, we have arquebusiers. The only gunpowder units that England has, so close range gunpowder units. This is the bronze upgrade with steel helmets and the better uniform. The guns are the same though. Then we have a very nice unit, the Sherwood archers, so the Robin Hood archers with the feather on the cap. And they have like paints to camouflage themselves, and they don't have any upgrades. Then we have the staple English units, the longbowmen with their very big bows. Longbows, I should say. So here is the regular unit. Here is with the bronze upgrades, so the padding, and I gave him the weapons upgrade too, so you can see the bows are a little nicer. This is the silver upgrade, so helmets, chainmail, still the round shield. Then we move on to the yeoman archers, which look kind of like the billmen. To be honest, I think these models are pretty ugly. And this was the regular version. Here they are upgraded, although I don't see much difference to it. Well, this is the ultimate upgrading they can have, the silver one. And so again, helmets, chainmail, and a uniform. The retinue longbowmen, very similar. This is their starting position, so with no upgrades. Here they have bronze upgrades, although this seems kind of like a downgrade to me. I don't understand. And finally, this is the silver upgrade. So you can see like the legs, they have steel armor underneath. But again, I don't really like this model. Finally, we move on to the cavalry. So here we have hobblers, which is like scouts. I love these spotted horses. This is the upgraded version with chainmail on the riders. Then we have merchant cavalry militia, so chainmail, sword and board. This is the upgraded version. You can see steel plate for these knights. And this is the silver upgrading, again with even more plate compared to the chainmail before. We move on to the proper knights now. So these are mailed knights with these wooden lances, chainmail and oblongated shields. And that's their upgraded version with helmets, more chainmail, better lances and shields. Moving on with the cavalry, we have the Dama Lancers, which are pretty forward in time with their colored lances and conquistadors-esque looks, you know, sleeves, the helmets, very like 13th, 14th century. Then we have their upgraded version, which is amazing. Like, look at this plate, it's so nice. And look at the points of the lances too. Then we have the Feudal Knights, staple unit, barding for the horse, first unit with horse barding. And here's the regular version, here's the upgraded version. Then we have the General's Bodyguard, early one. I love the shields. They look very similar to the Feudal Knights. And this is their upgraded version with better armor, but still the shields look really nice. Then we have English Knights, the proper medieval knights. Colored lances, barding, very pretty to look at. And this is their upgraded version with plate, and instead of... No, they look, to be honest, pretty similar to me. Just the helmets may be a little different. So this is the upgraded version. Then we have the late General's Bodyguard with the full steel barding for the horse, and these units look very nice. Like, look at the spike on the horse. The regular version and the upgraded version, which are monsters. Look at this plates and helmets, gorgeous looking. Then we have the Knights Hospitaliers, so Templar Order, a monk, warrior monk order. This is the regular version. Then there's the upgraded version, bronze upgrades, with instead of the chainmail they have the steel helmets. And then there's the silver upgrades. The helmets change a bit, but that's it. And then the Templar Knights, the Knights Templar, same thing, just a different order. These are the Knights of Jerusalem. I like how the horses have the chainmail here on it. This is the regular version. This is the upgraded version. No upgrades on the barding, unfortunately. They look nice. Finally, war machines. We have the regular ballista, so throwing big spikes. The catapult, classic unit. This is nice. The ribolt, so many different barrels shooting bullets. The trebuchet. And finally the mortar, which can shoot over walls. Finishing off the war machines, we have the bombard. Very good to take down walls. The culverin, which is very late periods. And then finally two like possible mercenary recruitment units. Welsh spearmen, which look like the worst. And then Irish kerns and their pelts. They look pretty fun and nice, but they're not very strong units, either of them. They're just to bulk up your army. So that's it. These are all the units in the English faction for Total War, for Medieval 2 Total War. So see you in the next video. We're gonna look at France.